All right, everyone, welcome along. Week 3, England food hygiene. Now, the nice thing with the England food hygiene dataset, and what we were looking to really extend and do more with, was this whole thing with the goals, wasn't it? Like expanding on metrics and what we can do with them and what they actually bring to the table for it. Now, I've had one of those weeks where just all my plans that we'd put in place for this week have just kind of like fallen by the wayside. Because the more I've been looking at these metrics, the more I'm just like, why are we not doing so much more with them? Because so much is in there and it's in there. And there's lots of things that we're doing to try and cover it and make this better and to do that and to deal with this for clients. And yet it's just in metrics. It's there. It's ready to go. So I thought, let's have a look at some of those things and we'll see where we've got to with our first, in terms of the first phase of bringing in the wider Power Platform piece to it. All right, so let's start here, okay? Our scorecard. Now, the way we've built this scorecard and the way I've expanded it now, if we go into the scorecard itself, you can see what I've effectively done is I've created all the regional variations under 3 main categories, okay? So we've got local authorities, which is just a count of local authorities. It's a whole mess of a number that I don't really want to get into and discuss here, but suffice to say, local authorities is a count that no one ever likes trying to figure that one out, okay? We've then got an average food hygiene score by area. So in terms of actually, how well is this area doing overall? And then lastly, we've got a count of businesses per area. So the idea of this would, if you think maybe about specific sales in a region that you'd have, and then actually sales volume that you could have, and then you've got your sanity check one, which is really what the local authority count is doing in terms of has everyone reported in? It's kind of what we're saying. So if we suddenly see a dip, we go, oh, hang on, we can look, but there's a dip in number of local authorities, so potentially a local authority has been dropped off for some reason. Strange things have happened. What it's nice to be able to do, though, is look and see, well, if we've got ownership assigned to these, and in these I've made sure these are all back to being me, and obviously we've dropped Jake out, because what I wanted to do was look at a couple of things with this. So thing one is the top. Right at the top of here, we've got very clear meaning in terms of the statuses of it. Okay, so if the status is on track, we can see we've got a click here. I can click, these are the on track ones. I can choose to see, well, what's at risk today? And I can click to see the at risk and untick the on track, and it'll show me these are the ones that are at risk. And we can see there's an on track one at the top, but that's because it's the top level for the ones that are at risk. So we get this idea, well, great, I can do this. I've got the idea of overdue or behind or at risk or on track. But these aren't terms my business uses. That's just stupid. Why do I have to use that? Well, you don't. It's the nice thing about this. Again, this is one of those things that seems to have been really well thought out, and I can't understand why more people are not using this. If we go and edit and into settings, under statuses, we've got a list of statuses that we can augment, but also we can move up and down. So we can build our metrics and our projections for our goals in terms of are these performant? What's the point of this scorecard? Is it a project tracker? Is it something else? Is that? Whatever you want to use this for, with these statuses and the ability to move them around and do what you need with them, you can really build up a full list of states that you want your metrics to go through for your business, be it just a top level scorecard of red, green, amber. Next to statuses, we've got permissions. Now, this is one that kind of, when you start looking into it, it just blows your mind, okay? Let's get rid of my face and let's carry on with it though. So what we've got when we get to here is this idea of saying, well, we can see each and every item is there. So build your scorecards and then you can start to define security layers. So one of the things that I like to talk about is the real role of management is kind of, top level manager, I just want a light on me, 3 lights on my desk. If it's green, I can go and play golf. Everything's fine. So we can actually get to the point, say, where our top level managers, our C-suite as it were, only ever saw the top level metrics. The critical success factors that go into making those metrics are visible to different people. But that group, again, we can add a role, and you can create a new role, define the role members, and if we pick we can see we get groups that we can pick from, okay? So here we are, okay? I've created a SharePoint list for all this, right? It's dead easy to do SharePoint lists. They're nice, they're lightweight. For something like this, they're perfect. You've got no real security concerns with it. It just needs to exist and get set up. Now, once you've got a list set up, you can start to do other things with it. But the first thing that we've got to do is work out, well, how can we actually populate it? Because somehow I had to bring in these 30 rows, didn't I? And the key thing and the most important thing with these is, as with so many things, it's going to be the owner of it and the GUID. Right? And owners and GUIDs are things that you'll find going along a lot of the way with this and as you start to look at the Power Platform. So owner is, of course, who is assigned the ownership of this entity. And one of the things we'll want to do over time is actually manage this and allow this to tweak and be changed. Okay. The GUID is something that exists in everything in Power BI. Everything has a GUID. Okay, so it's globally unique identifier. Now these GUIDs are completely globally unique. So my GUIDs and your GUIDs should always be different, that kind of thing. My work, your work, never be the same. Okay, so GUIDs are there for it. And that's the important thing. That's going to allow us to script bits to write back into this. So to do the check-ins through a Powerapp, use this. So my plan, so I've got quite a simple plan of what we're going to do, right? We've got our metrics, which exist in the metrics area, don't they? So we've got that scorecard that's there, okay? That scorecard data, the core piece in terms of the owner, the GUID, they're going to come through. We're going to use Power Automate to bring those through into our SharePoint list that we've got. And then we're going to use a Powerapp to actually interact with that. Now the Powerapp is going to read the goal information to actually find out, well, what's the current score, what's the current target for it? And that will then allow that to be updated, a comment added, and then post that back, okay? That's the plan. So what I thought I'd do is show you this list. We've got the list here now, okay? I'm going to take you through the process of what it would take to write the initial pull through, right? And then which obviously I've already done it because it's populated, but it's easy enough to do it, and it'll just, hopefully you go like, oh, I didn't realize it was that simple, okay? So let's have a look and let's see what we can do. So go into Power Automate. I'm going to create a new flow. I'm going to create a scheduled cloud flow. It's going to be the demo. I'm going to pick whenever it's going to be from. Right, I'd probably say we want this to happen every week. Okay. Let's say every Sunday, yeah? At 10 a.m. That works for me, doesn't it? I'm going to create that. So we've got a recurrence, beautiful new interface now in the Power Platform, so in the Power Automate suite. Okay, compared to the old one, this is much better. Okay, I'm going to add an action, and what we want to do is goals. Okay, so we're going to get multiple goals. Still a preview one, so be warned, this might tweak over time. We need to tell it where from. Okay, so for us, this is going to be in our data model, UK food hygiene, it's the bottom one. Scorecard ID, click on it, it's going to already pull through just the scorecards that are there. So the England food hygiene one, we've got that. Okay, that's now just going to go connect to that and get all the goals from there. And then based on that, what we want to do is create an item. Okay, so we're going to create an item. Give it the site address. I'm choosing to put these into my Geordie intelligence. The list is our goals. Say, show me everything. For me titles, what I want is to put the goal name, and you can see when I select that, it's going to create a for each loop for it. Okay, I can go through, populate the rest of those based on the values that are there. So for GUIDs, we're going to pick the ID, owner. We've got an owner. We could put in the values. We could put in these other things. The more I think about it, the less I want to. Likewise with the statuses, I want those to come through from the others. And of course, the last check-in, we're going to pull that information through as we do it with Powerapp and write it back. So we say, well, this is the last time we updated it. Okay. So for the sake of this, it's probably just these 3 pieces of information we need. We would save that, and we would then run that, and that's our flow done. Okay, so I'll save it. So what do you reckon then? The thing for me is the more I spend time looking at metrics and what they do and how they all work, right, the more interested I am in them, and the more I start to recognize these are very different to what I thought they were. And I know they've been updated. I know with metrics was a rename. They used to be called, definitely were goals, right? Metrics is kind of the newer name. Where they are today and what I see as an available solution today is streets ahead of where I thought they would do, what I thought they were. I mean, I've always looked at them and thought, these are really useful. There's a lot of stuff in here to unpack and actually deliver to a client, to a business, to anything. But when you go in and you start to build a scorecard and watch it grow and watch the lines automatically populate, everything goes through, seeing as well the details, because you can say, well, what's the cycle that we're in? Are we in a month over month, a year over year? Are we in a growth? Are we in a maintain? What do you want for it? Especially when you then factor in what you can do with tracking things. So one of the areas we've got is we've of course got a number of local authorities that have reported. We've got, for example, 317 is the correct number today of local authorities in England. Because it changes, yay, they update them, sometimes they change, right? The main thing is because the metrics build themselves, manage themselves, you've got everything there. Once we've got the point where we've got the Powerapp starting to allow you to put the check-in information in, right, there it goes. Okay? We don't necessarily need to check and see from a check-in side, when did you last check in? Because we could record that last check-in could be from the Powerapp saying, well, I last checked in there. There's lots of stuff we can do, and then we know these are Powerapps that are going to check in there. You open the Powerapp, this is what your score is, which one are you going to do, this one, blah, blah, blah. Right, and it's done. Okay, so for me as a worker, my workflow would be, I need to go and check this Powerapp once or twice a month, or I know I can send alerts with the Powerapp, say, well, we haven't had an update from you this month. Do you want to go in and do these ones haven't been updated? This is outstanding. So I can have an outstanding list again, which is where this is a better and better business tool than a lot of people are thinking. And I know people aren't using it, but what we can do is say we can pull everything through. We've got the stuff, so we can show you how to build a Powerapp and say, well, let's do this, do that, build a simple Powerapp where I can go and say, all right, I'm in this I am the owner of these, show me. And it will go, yeah, here you go, add your comment, tick, 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 and write, and it would then submit that back into Power BI. So we'll go through, we'll do all that, we'll make it look nice. It won't be pretty, but we can make it look nice. Maybe I'll make an effort and make it look a bit pretty. I'm not going to hold my breath, though. I don't do pretty stuff. I'm not the best at that. Okay? So I hope you've enjoyed that. As I say, let us know. Are you guys using metrics? Are you seeing something going like, why are we not using this? I hope you are. And, is there something you want to see? Because I'm doing more with Powerapps. We can do more with Powerapp. We can do more with Power Automate. We can go and say, do you want to see how this is all pulled together? We can do that. Let us know. And of course, if you ever want, need, or require the services of Geordie Consulting, as well our consulting wing, just get in touch, either on here or email them at office@geordieconsulting.co.uk. Have a great week. Take care. Ta-da.